Arsenal come back from 2 down to draw 2-2 at Stamford Bridge in your game of the weekend in the London Derby. Liverpool get back to winning ways after beating Everton 2-0. So did Manchester City after beating Brighton 2-1. And it's back-to-back wins now for Man United after they beat Sheffield United 2-1 as well. Newcastle thrashed Crystal Palace to keep rising to challenge for the top 4. Stick with me as we review Saturday's action in the Premier League. Well, firstly, no other place to start than the game of the weekend itself, Chelsea versus Arsenal. All these subplots were just waiting to manifest in this game. Mudryk, after being scouted by Arsenal for a very long time before his 90 million move to Chelsea, Mudryk himself had liked pictures of Arsenal and Arsenal players. He basically asked to join Arsenal and it just didn't manifest. He happened to join a rival. It was just waiting for Mudryk last minute winner or Mudryk masterclass. The game was just begging for Havertz tap-in after he abandoned the sinking ship that was Chelsea in the summer for a move to a direct rival, which was Arsenal. Or it was begging for a Jorginho penalty after he did the same in the middle of the season in January last season, as Chelsea were definitely fighting for relegation and Arsenal were challenging for the title. These subplots were just waiting to manifest. It was set up really nicely. Getting into the game, Chelsea took the lead after a Cole Palmer penalty. Some people will argue it wasn't a penalty. Some people will argue that Cole Palmer shouldn't have even been on the field. So let's look at that. For me, no, I don't think it was a red card at all. He just stood on him. The ball was there to be won. He was late. He catches the player. But for me, it's just a stamp. He's not high. He's not malicious. No, not a red card. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop crying for everything now and let's move on. Sterling and Palmer then got into it on deciding who's going to take the penalty. Sterling wanted it. Cole Palmer took it off his hands and it looked like Enzo Fernandez, of all people, the 21-year-old. He's the one that came into this and settled it and said, no, give it to Palmer. And Palmer, the 20-year-old, then stepped up and obviously the boy converted. Now, was it a penalty? Short answer, yes. Let's look at the facts. For me, I completely understand ex-players and pundits that say that it's really harsh because there's nothing that Saliba can do about this. Basically, Mudryk has headed it and deflected it onto his hand. Now, is the arm in an unnatural position? Again, I would understand if people are saying that's how he should jump. You lift your hands up to get power. It's a completely normal action. Okay, I hear that point. But I think because it's football and there has to be some sort of standard of what's allowed as a penalty, what's not, some sort of judgment, things can't really always be subjective, right? We have to at least set some sort of standard and expectation that we can hold the referees into account. So to make my point, let me give an example. Yesterday, we had 3 penalty decisions, all which were given. And you know what? I say congratulations to the Referees Association because they've given us consistency. They've given us a standard. They've set a metric of what we can expect for it to be a penalty. Liverpool against Everton, that was a penalty, handball. Man United and Sheffield, that was a penalty, handball. Arsenal, Chelsea, that was a penalty, handball. All in a way similar because the arm is really far out and they've judged that to be an unnatural position. So with that, I think it's fair. We've seen Nicholas Jackson in the first week, penalty not given. We've seen Spurs, Man United, penalty not given. And it looks like they're trying to fix that. And for that, let's give him a round of applause. I think it was good. And moving on. It did happen. Mudryk against the team that he wanted and the team that wanted him in the first place. He scores against Arsenal and he scores a completely lucky goal. This was definitely meant as a cross to Raheem Sterling. There was no way he meant that. Sorry, it's not a screamer, but he deserves some luck. He's been going through it. He's been getting all the abuse. It's kind of like when the bad player in your team scores, the worst player, and he gets all the love because now it's like, okay, come on, do something. Can you kick on from here? Let's get it. And at that point, yes, definitely a mistake by the keeper. But at that point, it looked like typical Arsenal going from beating Man City, the best team in the league, the best team in the world, to now losing against Chelsea, which is absolutely struggling. What's going on? The game was completely in the control of Chelsea. Arsenal had not had a shot on target. They were not doing anything the whole game, not creating good chances. But with the final 15 minutes to go, Sanchez has had a howler. He's had a nightmare. What a huge mistake. And Declan Rice hits it from distance. My God. What was that? He literally just teed it up for Rice. It's a brilliant finish, by the way. Brilliant finish, bottom corner. He was never getting there after making that mistake, but he gave away the 3 points. Funny enough how Chelsea bought Sanchez when literally Roberto De Zerbi had dropped him at Brighton for not being good with his feet. And I mean, we can see the evidence. And it's like these plots write themselves. Declan Rice released at Chelsea at 14, told he's not good enough. He's come back to haunt them now with the rival. Come on, that's football for you. When I rated this transfer as an amazing transfer in my tier list that I done earlier on, people thought I was crazy. And I think this performance shows the importance of having someone who just gives his 100% every single game and having a central defensive midfielder that has a goal in him. We can see how important Rodri is last season for Man City, who scored crucial goals even the season before. You know, goals that really, really collected points for the team. Rice has just done the exact same thing this season for Arsenal. He scored against Man United, another late winner, and now scored a crucial goal that propelled the comeback for Arsenal to get a point when the game looked dead and buried. Wow, that's a signing and a half. Saka, who was dead and buried the whole game, he was literally non-existent. He then whipped in a brilliant cross in the back post for Trossard to tap it in moments after coming on as a substitute. He's becoming a super sub at this stage. Arteta once again with a moment of genius, a moment of inspiration. Although I think he approached the game the wrong way. For some reason, I have a feeling that Arsenal kind of underestimated Chelsea, especially after beating Man City. I think they were just lackluster, they were relaxed, and probably didn't think Chelsea would be much of a threat. And I think that hurt them in the beginning, and they should have actually won this game. And now it just sets them back. They would take the point, of course, after coming back from 2 down. But I think it sets them back a little bit. And no, I'm not going to be too critical over Pochettino. I think the game and his strategy was completely working. Everything was going up to plan until the one mistake by Sanchez. Literally, his team let him down. His team costed him the game. Mistake by Sanchez. And then Gusto falls asleep at the back post when Trossard, of course, with fresh legs, gets a run on him. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to blame Poch for that. I think Chelsea should have done better as a team. They couldn't hold on for 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes, they get crucial 3 points, and that probably even changes their mentality and their ambitions for the rest of the season. So yes, Chelsea absolutely threw it away. Pochettino was let down, and the game ended in a draw. In your Saturday roundup, Liverpool beat Everton 2-0 as Mo Salah scored 2 goals in an Anfield that was filled with pro-Palestine support. There is a conversation to be had that Konate should have received a red card. This happened after Ashley Young was shown 2 yellow cards for 2 bookable offenses. Konate was on a booking already when he committed a foul that seemed to be a cynical foul, and he should have been worthy of a yellow card. Those things happen. Sometimes they don't happen because it happened when Arsenal played City. We should also call it out in other games as well. So yeah, I think Liverpool could have been also down to 10 men and it would have been 10-10, but the pressure piled on, and immediately after that, Everton conceded a penalty, so could have been a moment that affects the game for sure, yes. But I think at the end, Liverpool were always going to win. Everton were not doing anything the whole game. And yeah, I mean, these things happen. I don't think it's one of the worst robberies in the world. So let's move on. Erling Haaland scored another tap-in as City beat Brighton 2-1. Alvarez also scored, making it another game in which both or either one at least of these 2 strikers have scored. Pep Guardiola with the biggest lie ever told in football when he said Man City couldn't replace Aguero. He even had the fake tears. The fake tears were out. And now he's went and gotten the best two strikers, or one of the best two strikers in world football right now, that's for sure. Doku was absolutely cooking on the wing. Looks like a proper winger, that one. Had Milner on skates the whole game. Even got an assist as well. It's going to be a real battle for that left wing position with Grealish. Another game in which Rodri shows his importance. He's back. Man City win. He's not playing. Man City lose. Simple as that. Most important player in Man City right now, apart from Kevin De Bruyne, who's injured too. We end the Saturday at Bramall Lane, where Sheffield hosted Man United. Man United won 2-1 in loving memory of Sir Bobby Charlton. I think Man United had to win as a proper send-off for their club legend, as well as last time out they had to win again for Lady Ferguson, who had passed away, unfortunately, the wife of Sir Alex. And Scott McTominay has popped up both times. He's turned into prime R9 for the past few weeks. He's absolutely been on fire for both Man United and Scotland. So, wow. Yeah, I think he's earned his place in the starting lineup now. And hopefully he can get his form again back together and he doesn't have to leave the club. And with that being said, Maguire as well, he has also started putting in decent performances, solid performances at the back. And it just looks like United are looking better. They're looking a bit better, still leaky at the back, conceding goals, but they're looking much more solid. And now, after Arsenal drop points, normality is restored at the top of the table, all things normal and balanced as they should be. City again in the first position. No one can do anything about that until Spurs, who play on Monday. If they win, they'll leapfrog everyone into first place. Arsenal still undefeated, of course, and Villa playing today, and if they win, they can leapfrog Newcastle into fifth. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe, and we'll catch up next week. Bye-bye.